Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Frangos, Rocket IT's Community Relationship Coordinator, and welcome to another great episode of Thrive Gwinnett. Today, I've got two amazing people with me. I am talking to Annie Valenty with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and Raymer, who is the founder and CEO of E2E Resources here in Gwinnett. So, Raymer, I think I'm going to have you go first. You ready?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. So, Raymer, you have started a fabulous program or event, even the Red, Blue, and You, and very, very basic. I know this event is to honor and celebrate our community heroes here in Gwinnett. So tell me, how did this happen? How did this come about? Fifth year running, just had the event back in November. So what is this all about?
Well, this has been right at 6 years ago. I was sitting around a table with some friends, and I was expressing concern over the attention that the police and fire were getting, the negative attention they were getting nationally. And so as I proceeded with my tirade, somebody at the table said, "Why don't you do something about it?" And so I said, "Okay, interesting challenge."
Mm-hmm.
And then I was introduced to Annie Valenty, superwoman, maker of things to happen. And Annie introduced me to God, my name was Chief Rich
Ayers.
Thank you. I was going to Conway. I knew that wasn't right. Chief Ayers. And we met at a restaurant in Duluth. And as I was getting out of the car, I thought to myself, what are we going to call this thing? And immediately the red for fire and Duluth, the police came to mind. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, how are we going to tally the American colors into red, like blue? And I thought you, because it's all about red and blue protecting you. And so I walked in and had breakfast with Chief Ayers and Annie and introduced the idea, and Chief Ayers thought it was a great idea. And we started from there, and it was just contacting one right after another, Annie's direction on this thing, and believe me, this lady is a miracle worker, and she has done a great job at helping us promote this and promoting it. And so that's where the idea started, and then we contacted the Corey Field and asked if we could do it outside there, and they agreed. And the first year, we probably had a couple, 200 or 300 people there. Not enough of the civilian population, but a lot of the first responder population. Yes. Well, then comes 2020, blessed 2020. We had since moved to Buford Arena because the week before Thanksgiving is a weather unpredictable time of the year. I've seen rain, freezing rain and snow in November, and I've seen sunshine. Good news is, first 2 years we had sunshine. Third year I said, we're not going to hold out on this very long, so we moved to Buford, and sure enough, that year it was miserable. But this year we couldn't hold it inside, and so folks at Buford said, why don't we move it over to the football stadium, which we did, and it turned out perfect. The weather was great. It was a little crisp. I got a little sun on the non-protected dome, and the event turned out to be an excellent event. And this year we added to that, included in the new, the frontline, the first responders, the teachers, and Annie and Renee Raffinelli made contact with our school system. I'll let Annie tell you what they did because she ran that program and she started it. And so we had lots of good input from our school board and school system. The school sort of solidly behind us on this. And so that's what we started, and I guess I gave you more than you wanted to know.
It's how it transformed. Yeah, no, I love that, Raymer, and I think that's great. And yes, Annie, you've been just a huge advocate for getting this up and running and continuing it. I think the momentum is there, and I think it very easily could have fallen off, this year. And I love that transformation. Just adding, Annie, I want to hear from you, but I love how you reached out to me. You called me and said, hey, is there any way Rocket IT could get involved, whether it's going to the schools and doing some chalk art to say thank you to our community heroes. And community heroes do come in all shapes, sizes, job descriptions, job titles, and functions in their role. And I love that you really made a concerted effort to incorporate more community heroes. So Annie, I want to hear this year that focus on the you. What made you think of that?
It wasn't actually me. I give credit to our first responders completely. And it stemmed actually from May and April. Chief West came to Raymer, and what we had always seen is, Red, Blue, and You, as Raymer said, was designed to really try to create a great community fabric between our first responders, our business leaders, and all of those that are citizenry in Gwinnett County. And really, we felt that if we could build this great relationship, then nothing could tear us apart. And that's what the whole goal was. And this year, what our red and our blue, what our fire and our police did was they turned and saw our front line are our first responders. Our grocery stores are our first responders. Right. Our teachers are our first responders. And so in May, Chief West contacted Raymer and said, we need to do something. We want to do this great event. And so they brought him dinner. And then we had people from every single jurisdiction in Gwinnett go to East Side and to North Side, both campuses, and they flashed their lights. They said thank you. They brought them meals, and they really celebrated them. So this year we wanted to take that same feeling and make Red, Blue, and You all about that. And knowing the stress that so many of our teachers have been under and our parents, everyone, as you and I have said before, everyone's essential this year. Every piece of everything we do is essential. And so we really wanted to celebrate that and celebrate our community that recognizes every person in their work is essential. Right. And this was a way to do it. So I appreciate you and Rocket IT and so many organizations that stepped up to the plate and said, let's do this. Let's talk about what's good from all this, that we appreciate each other, that we really, really love each other, and we really appreciate what we're doing together. And that's where the whole, impetus for this whole event came and kind of turned. And from that, we really built it up. The school system, as Raymer said, Mr. Wilbanks was 100% behind us. He wanted us to do that. We really wanted to encourage our teachers. And so we put up signs and chalked every single school that we could and every single location. It was great. I think it was a great booster for us as a community.
I think so too. And I just think it's such a fun idea, and it's a great way to get more people involved too, which is wonderful. And you said relationships. I think fostering those relationships, nurturing those relationships here in our community. We've got some great people here, and I think they really rallied. And I want to see that continue. And I think this is hopefully a nice positive platform to continue to share that message. And to that vein, Raymer, I hope this year was a success, and Annie as well. And I would love to hear from y'all. How can people continue to support Red, Blue, and You? Is there an ongoing effort? Should we be in contact with one of you just with regards to what that looks like, and if our community members are able to help?
Sure. We have, just so you'll know, the number of people that contribute to this is by and large a small group compared to what we're able to represent.
Okay.
And the reason for this is that our contacts have been just going to individual businesses. It's not that we have a broadcast out there that says, come on, community, put money in. We've gone to our Annie's supporters, our group that's been there before, and the other people that are members of the board. And we just say, here, give us what you can. I think that we have, now you're working on my brain, we have a $2,500 sponsorship level, and it goes to $1,000 and $500 and so on down the line. We have personal contributors get $35, $150. It all is important. And one of the things that makes me, and I hope all the rest of the team, feel so good about it is we get rid of all the money. I don't mean we just throw it away, but we put it in special places. And This year we contributed $2,500 to the Gwinnett Police Foundation
Mm-hmm.
to replace Canine Blue, who was killed in action. Now, $2,500 won't do it, but it's a good fund. And we contributed an equal amount to the Fire Safety Employee Benevolence Fund. Now, we are available to contribute to other local police funds, foundations for the Sheriff's Department, and all of those sorts of things. We just haven't received any requests, even though we've reached out to them. So last year we ended up with some $8,000 left over. We bought pizzas for the front line during that police chief's drive-by. This year we'll have some money left over. I'm not sure exactly how much, but we will hold that money for a reason that will pop up. I hope it's not the same reason in 2021, but nonetheless. And then we reserve $3,000 or $4,000 to startup, and that won't run the program, but it's a startup. And this year we added the airplane that flew above with a banner covering the entire county for 2 hours. And
that's cool.
Very good. So anybody that's interested in contributing can contact me at Raymer, Raymer, at the letter E, the number 2, the letter E, resources, resources.com. That comes straight to my desk, and I will make sure that they get contacted.
I love it. That's awesome.
And Colleen, if I could add to, the sponsorships are huge for us, but also the day of the event that we have. And I know that as we said, we keep kind of expanding what our outreach is going to be. So we don't, we have Raymer calls it the flavor of the year, kind of what is our focus this year. And that's what this organization is about. It's about really working to develop those relationships and basically responding to what we're experiencing as a community. So we would love volunteers to help us with that too. And they can reach out to Raymer or myself or check out, we have a website for Red, Blue, and You as well. So that'd be great. The more people that are interested in really celebrating our community in this way and our first responders, the better.
Awesome. I love it. And
one other thing that ought to be added to this is the reason the event is expensive is, number one, we feed everybody who shows up. So far we've been using Jim and Nick's. There is no cost to anybody for the event. All you have to do is show up and support.
Wow.
And you enjoy the program that usually lasts 30 to 45 minutes. And then the food and family friendship, if you want to communicate with the folks there. And believe me, these officers, these fire folks, fighters, these frontline people, they're willing and glad and more than willing to associate and share information with you. And you can, if you were at the event this year, you would have seen the Buford Middle School Choir perform. And according to what I heard, I was behind them, so I couldn't see. There may have been a couple of misty-eyed folks up in the gallery.
There were definitely some tears in our first responders' eyes based on what they heard. They were definitely feeling support that they desperately needed. So it was great.
Mission accomplished.
I love it. Well, I appreciate both of you. I think this is definitely a cause to get behind and to continue to grow and adapt with those changes as they come about. But I think the community is behind you, and I hope that we can make this even better next year, because it's going to be better next year. It just is. We have hope, right, Annie?
Absolutely. And thank you and your family for participating too. I loved seeing that. And it was great. And I know it was beloved by the school and everyone in the city. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you all for leading the charge. And I hope you guys can keep momentum going and we can get some more people rallied behind you. So thank you both for joining me today on Thrive Gwinnett.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. And if you want to get involved, I'll make sure we've got the contact information for Raymer and also a link to redblueandyou.org in our post. So until then, everybody have a great day and stay tuned for the next episode of Thrive Gwinnett. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.